See, now it's not reflecting. Look.
Well,
No reflection. Reflection.
You just going to hold your hand there?
Yeah.
The whole time?
Hi. I do not want to rotate my screen, and I do not want to see a reflection. If
you don't
if you have a question while we're doing this live, ask, and we'll answer.
Or you can always message us, and
we won't answer those.
We'll answer them confidentially and
publicly,
anonymously,
putting your name out there. Especially if you win $1 billion, we will put that out.
What does that have to do with anything? Anyway, we're talking about affair-proofing your marriage, and we've talked to a lot of couples where, there's been infidelity or there's been issues that, either an emotional affair or a physical affair or whatever it is has happened. And that does not just happen. It's not like, it just happened, honey. No, that doesn't just happen. That is not an excuse. It doesn't happen one day and you wake up the next morning and boom, you've had an affair.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
I caught it like a cold.
Exactly. That does not happen. That does not happen. And we all know that.
Well, I'm not sure that we do all know that. I think the thing is that it's a very slippery slope. Lemony Snickets. But it's a very slippery slope in the fact that you start confiding in someone that's not your spouse. And it's technically not an affair. You're having issues at home and you just want to bounce it off someone. You're still not having an affair. Mm-hmm. It's just the more you do that, the more it just happens because you've missed the entire thing that you're building this relationship with the person that you're venting to about your spouse rather than going to your spouse. Yeah. So it has never a just happened, but I can understand how it sometimes feels that way because you're not seeing that you're building an emotional affair and sex is the byproduct of intimacy. Mm-hmm. And so since we know that, you're building intimacy and that's the byproduct.
Yeah, I think, absolutely. And it can start in a variety of different ways. And I think what we have to do as spouses and partners is be extremely aware and discerning of what could develop into an affair. And this can happen to anybody. I mean, the highest people in office, in scripture, in biblical things, in pastoral, whatever your position, nobody's immune to this.
Because it happens slowly, but quickly.
I mean, there's been people in big power that you have high respect for that have fallen because of this. And what?
Now I was going to say Trump. I think we all know he pays for it, so... Zing!
Oh my Lord. You may have lost people or you may have gained people. I have no idea.
Well, he did, so it's not like...
All right, we're not talking about that. That's a completely different... Anyway, back on topic here.
Yeah.
I will say, and I'm going to mention
comedy
a few
relief.
Things. Yes, I'm going to talk about a few things with me. I am a very touchy-feely person. I like to touch people, just in general. I give people hugs. I know. Well, this is good. That's good for him. But just in general, even though physical touch is not necessarily my love language, I like to touch people as a calming, like, how's it going today? And I will do that to men and women. And I need to be careful with that because that can lead into some other innuendos or intentions or implications. Could be taken wrong. And so I need to be aware of that. And I am aware of that. I speak to men at our church a lot that are in leadership. And if I ever do go into their office, we never close the door. There's always someone else there. We just set up safeguards. I only talk about information. I don't talk about anything personal with anyone of the opposite sex. I never do. If I have something personal to talk about, I'll talk about it with my girlfriends. And I think that's safeguarding. Definitely.
Not me.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's about me.
But I also think if you're having trouble in your relationship, if you haven't been intimate in a while, looking elsewhere can get easier and easier.
Right.
And all of a sudden there's someone at the gym, there's someone at church, there's someone on your carpool, someone at work.
So is the solution
now paying more attention to you than your spouse?
Is the solution then is to have a lot of sex at home and then you can talk to whoever you want?
No.
Because you have that intimacy.
No, I do not think that is the answer. But
devil's advocate.
I know, but it can happen very easy. If you are carpooling to work alone with someone of the opposite sex, even if you're not alone, but maybe the two of you sit in the back seat and things can get intimate pretty fast. You can look at someone, and if you stare for like 1 extra second than you normally would, that person might go, oh. And boom, things get going and started. And you have to recognize that.
All the time in videos. People just be staring, and I'm like, they're looking into my
Oh, stop. You know what I mean. But I think we have to be cautious of that. We're not dead. We're naturally going to be attracted to other people, and people may be attracted to us.
Mhm.
This is not, as soon as you become married, that just goes away. That's, that does not go away.
You
What are you
become
going to do
dead
about it?
To
Dead
the
to
world.
anyone else.
Yeah.
You're dead to me now. And I will admit it happens, and it has happened to me where I'm like, wait a minute, check myself. I'm now paying more attention to that person than maybe I ever used to. And maybe because that person looked my way a little extra second, and I was like, whoa. And then instantly our brains start going. And I think
it's because we all like to feel desired.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yes.
No matter who it's from.
Yeah.
It could be from the ugliest person you've ever met, but they make you feel desired. And that's part of the other issue on affair proofing is that you will always tend to go for what you're missing.
Yes.
And so, for example,
absolutely.
Husbands, if you don't feel desired from your spouse, any woman that looks at you for a second longer than just your presence, you're like, wow, someone actually likes me. I feel pretty desired.
Maybe I'm going to see if I can get those looks elsewhere now.
Right.
Now I'm feeling a little bit more confident. And you press that a little bit more. You might hang around the water cooler or someone's desk a little bit more at work.
Go to the gym the same exact time all
yes,
the time.
now you start planning your day
right.
around seeing them.
That's what you should not do.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to stop doing that. And sometimes that's really hard, especially when you're getting that excitement, that infatuation, those feelings that you really want from your spouse. And I think it can be very difficult to talk to a spouse about that.
Yes.
How do you think the best way to approach if I am now having
There's
these
some
feelings?
hot chick at the gym was looking at me today. Woo! You should have seen her. Look at me.
Okay, I'm totally fine with that.
Not gonna work. Yeah.
If that goes beyond, now you're like, now we're planning. Now you don't want to work out in the same room with me.
Right, yeah.
Because she's in the room and you don't want her to know that we're married. These tiny little things. This is how it
the
starts.
wedding ring comes off at
yes.
the gym.
It's a slow burn. It's a slow fade. It does not happen overnight. And I think you need to be very, very careful because any one of us can fall. And I think we have to catch those things. And the Bible says take every thought captive. And I think that's important. If I am having these thoughts, that's not wrong. I'm a human being. God put these thoughts in me. He put these feelings in me. It's what do I do with those thoughts? Okay, I cannot dwell on that. I can't be laying in bed thinking about this person and envisioning stuff because then those thoughts eventually turn into actions, and those actions can really be detrimental to a marriage, even emotionally. You may not have even touched this person sexually, but if you are having, like he said, more intimate conversations with this person, even if it's someone of the same sex, because that has happened. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
That I think women may be getting something, maybe they have a lesbian friend and they might be getting more from her than they are getting from their spouse. Things like that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're not immune to it. We're not beating around the bush here.
Right.
Things are not.
You are not immune to an emotional affair.
No.
The only, I think, way to be immune to an emotional affair is to be emotionally connected with your spouse over and over again. And that is also the reason why we bring in, hey, you should have an intimacy lifestyle. You should be having sex more than once a week or more than once a month or at least once a week. And the reason why is because it reconnects you emotionally and it prevents you from finding an emotional connection somewhere else. That's the whole entire thing. Again, sex is the intimacy. Sex is the byproduct of intimacy. And so the more intimate you have here, the less intimacy you're looking for out there.
Yes,
and then then you just want to jump each other's bones all the time because you have this great intimacy. And that's the whole entire thing. So when you feel excited because somebody wants you or finds you attractive, great. Good on you. If you're at the gym and some girl looks at you like, dang, you look good. Awesome. To go home and share that with your spouse. Some girl looked at me.
Yes.
And
bringing things in the open.
Right. And then really what that does is that communicates, well, my husband wants to feel desired. So the next time he takes a shower, I'm going to get out before him and then I'm just going to look at him while he takes a shower and go, damn. And that's it. That's all we need. It could be just as simple as that, but that is literally affair proofing the long game of
over and over again
of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so just
and there really
communicate what you're missing, communicate what you desire, and it is your spouse's responsibility to help affair proof the marriage as well. And start giving the thing that you're missing. Hey, I really don't feel desired. Have that conversation.
It's not a threat. It's not like if you I'm not feeling this.
If
so
you
I'm gonna
don't
get
desire
some-
me,
right?
I'm going to go get desired by someone else.
Because
That's
our
not the
pride
thing.
gets in the way.
Right.
That's not the
it at all.
conversation
I
to
just
have.
want you to want me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody kind of wants that.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, talking about it is huge because things that are not brought up fester and sin grows in the dark.
Yeah.
If you bring it out in the open, it's not in the dark anymore and it will not grow usually. If you talk to a trusted friend, you talk to your spouse about this, talk to a counselor about this.
If it's
A lot of
gone,
this-
I would say if it's gone too far, like for example, you're changing your schedule to see her at the gym and you want to break that, then you either take your spouse to the gym with you, make sure you keep your wedding ring on, or take a friend and say, I just need you to come work out with me. You don't really just get them to work out with you. You don't really have to tell them the reason, but bringing someone else along is really going to help you pull yourself out of it or change your schedule drastically.
One more thing I wanted to talk about is online. I mean, it is so easy right now to be online and flirt online.
You're online
And
right now.
and it is so easy to befriend someone on social media and then start liking their posts. Now you're kind of stalking them. You need to catch yourself and go, whoa, what am I missing here that I'm getting out of this person? And honestly, I'm not friends with any ex-boyfriend. I'm just not. It's not a good idea because I don't need to be knowing what's going on with those people.
And they're
It's
not
just-
as cool as me anyways.
No, absolutely not.
Exactly.
But I mean, I wouldn't stalk someone of the opposite sex and make sure that I'm commenting on their feeds and their threads and making little smiley face and I love this and love that because they're going to notice it as well. And then that feeds into this affair.
Is this more of a woman thing than a men thing?
It might be. I
You
don't
think?
know. It could be both ways. Because I think men, they might be looking for something, so they'll do incognito windows and they'll start looking at stuff they shouldn't be looking at, and that leads to more and more things. If you're looking at
Right.
pornography, that might be leading to looking on Craigslist or these horrible sites that meetups for married people, and then you're just down this rabbit hole. You need to catch yourself and pull yourself out before it's too late, because it's easy to get trapped and then it is too late and you're stuck.
If you are trapped, the solution on social media is just to share an account.
Share your accounts.
I know
Leave
it's kind of a
everything
pain
open.
in the butt to have one account for your family, but on the other side,
It's integrity.
you think it's restricting and all the other things, but no, it's actually way more freeing because you just have the one account that your family maintains and that's it.
Yeah.
If they want to get a hold of you, then you know the people that are going to get a hold of your spouse. You know the people that are they're going to know the people that are getting a hold of you. So everything is wide open.
Yeah.
And then that's not an issue as well.
Yeah.
The other thing to do is make sure that you know each other's
Passwords to get into
your phone. And you can call it a phone inspection. I don't care what you call it, but we don't have anything locked down. I
No,
can
we
get
are
into
very
this phone and I can
transparent.
check whatever I want. I can check all of
All the
her
time.
email. I can do
and vice versa.
check her history, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a nice way to do it. Our kids know what's the codes to our phones, so
Mm-hmm.
we obviously can't do anything. We can't have any inappropriate apps
Yeah.
at all because we have little kids that can look at our phone and
we've
look at our
safeguarded
history.
ourselves. Yes.
Right. And,
A lot of
and
those
all of
things.
that goes into this is how to affair proof anything, because you can't do anything if you don't
In the dark.
at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's good.
Yeah, I agree.
In the dark. I know.
Right.
So anyway, this is a really long one, I know, and there's a lot to this to unpack.
Mhm.
But catch yourself and stop yourself. Talk to your partner. Talk to your spouse about this. Say, yeah.
I want to throw one more thing in.
Yeah.
If you're going to have an open conversation about how you guys are and what's missing, it needs to be coming. You need to come from the standpoint of arguing from your partner's point of view.
That's good.
So when Tammy comes to me and says, I don't feel loved, desired, provided for, secure, I'm not going to take it that I'm not providing those things for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, okay, from your perspective, what's missing? And then what are the tangible things that I can do to resolve it? And so a lot of the times in marriage, we go, well, I don't feel secure.
What does that mean?
That means absolutely nothing. And this year we already talked about tangible things. What makes you feel secure? What tangible thing that I do can make you feel secure? Same thing with, from my point of view, and physical touch is really easy for me. I don't feel like I'm loved. Well, get naked and touch me, and then I feel like I'm loved. It's pretty easy. But
He's easy.
if there are other things like I don't feel desired, I don't feel these way, then she has to come from my point of view. What tangible things can I do to make you feel desired? And to be honest with you, she has an alarm on her phone. It goes off
All right.
every 3 hours, and I've said this multiple times. It does make me feel desired and loved, and it's just an alarm now, and I just hear the noise, and it makes me feel desired and loved. So is the open conversation and a tangible thing to do to fix the issue, so you're not looking for someone else to fill the void.
Yep. Yeah.
And one more thing, because I know this is long. Your spouse is not God. Your spouse should not fill your happiness, your joy. They are not there to complete you. You are a complete person, and then they come and join you.
Yes.
If
that's
you
good.
are a not complete person,
That's good.
you can't expect your spouse to fill all of your issues and their
'Cause they
issues
will
all
fail.
at the same time. They're going to fail. So understand that. If you have issues about integrity issues, if you have
Esteem, self-worth.
self-esteem issues, self-worth issues, you don't know where your value is, those are your problems. They're not your spouse's problems.
Good.
So you need to fix your problems before you start depending on someone else.
Ooh,
Be
yeah,
a
that's good.
whole person.
Yes.
All right. And that will affair-proof your marriage as well, because then you're not looking at somebody else providing the things that are missing that you should be solving for yourself.
It's good.
All right.
All right, we love you. We know this is long, but yeah, this is an important thing
Yeah,
that you
it
need
is.
to be aware of at all times, because it'll capture you and you won't even realize.
So a way to prevent having an affair would be to go on a date. So go to Get Date Box and type in Have a Marriage 50 for 50% off of your first date. They have outside dates and inside dates. Peace out.